Hytale's story is centered around Gaia and how her fall leads to the corruption of Orbis. We can bet that one of the prime missions for us in Orbis is to free her from her slumber in the Gaian temple on the planet Namdrazel. To do that, we'll have to go through the Gaian portal, which will most likely be located in Zone 1, and that's what we are going to be building today. Well, hello good people, it's your favorite son of Orbis, Mr. Passion here, and welcome back to another episode of Hytale in Minecraft, guys. As you know, the first order of business is for Ore is us to find a place that we're going to do the building, and this hill right here is the perfect spot for the Gaian portal. Right beside a cliff with some vegetation on the side of the hill. All we need to do is do a little bit of terraforming, make the place wider, because the build you're going to be doing is going to be one magnificent build. But without further ado, let's get into the video with the time lapse of me doing some terraforming, and then next we shall jump into the construction of the structure. Okay guys, as we are in this time lapse, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has liked, who has subscribed recently. Thank you to all the new fellas that are out here checking out this video. I really do appreciate it, and I want you guys to know that I do not take it lightly. I do my best to put in as much effort as I can to produce the best quality content I can put out for you guys, so that you can have something to watch over your weekend on a Saturday when you are, chilling. However, I would also like to remind you guys to not forget to subscribe and like. Shameless plug, I know. But yeah, this episode is sponsored by the like and subscribe button. My statistics show that not many of the people that have watched my videos so far are not subscribed, and that's not hard to see, because if you look at the view count in the previous videos versus this particular, versus the subscriber count, it is different, definitely. So obviously not everyone that watches subscribes, but do not forget it's free. My goal is to make sure I hit at least 1,000 before Hytale is released, and if I can go over that, that is even way more wonderful. I do believe that is possible, but that is a goal I set for myself, and I hope you guys can consider helping me get there. But all that said and done, I hope you guys are actually enjoying this video. I would like to hear from you, get engagement from all you guys, because it is as important to me as you watching. Leaving a comment really does let me know that what people want to see next, and it also leaving something nice is not bad. Also dislike is welcome in case you did not like the content or it was not what you expected. Yeah, but any kind of reaction is also always great. Thank you anyways for checking out these videos, and I'll keep on making more as long as you people are interested in watching them. The excitement of a completed build is always wonderful. What a joy. Anyways, we're back here and we are in for the tour, and I decided for the tour, rather than going around half-assing everything and just speaking what's in my mind, I'm breaking this down into 3 sections. That is mobs, lore, and structure. The lore, like I said in the beginning, the Gaian portal is basically the way or the route to the Gaian portal. Why I believe it is in Zone 1 is mainly because there is no other place it would be, simply because of the concept art that we referenced. One of the earliest missions we are going to do as Orbis officers is to get to the Temple of Gaia and defeat the corrupted golem. At least that's what I assume. See, according to the screenshots that we've seen so far of the Gaian temple, we see that one of the missions is to defeat the corrupted golem with the help of the Quebecs, which simply stipulates Quebecs being the ones that are in Zone 1, and considering that the earlier progression style for Hytale was a linear one, the mission to go to the Gaia's temple is going to be early, so which means one of the earliest structures we're going to find is the Gaian portal. Next, structure. It goes without saying that this may not be 100% rebuild of the structure, but it's a fun way to visualize what we're going to be working on. So before we look at the outside, I'm going to take a trip inside, and then I'll just go by discussing what parts of the structure touch the lore of the place. like we're here. So this place is generally broken up and overgrown simply because it has not been serviced or lived in for a while, because the person that might have been using this mostly would have been Gaia, as she visited this world from her home realm of Namdrazel. For those of you that did not know, Namdrazel is the home realm of Gaia, and that is where she is from. But this portal must have been like the world gate directly leading her to Zone 1, which is in Orbis. Anyways, let's just take a look at some of the things we see in here. So right off the bat, we are in this circular place like we see in the concept art, and I imagine the floors were a bit more pristine than you see here. They were pristine, white, and well manicured, but because it has not been used, it's overgrown, and we have trees that have grown inside, and the roofs have caved in, and you know, a lot of the structure in its glory has been lost. But this is the entrance. I do not expect to find much in here, but the rest of the things we shall be expecting to find I shall discuss in the next segment of mobs. And then according to the concept art, there is a small corridor that leads you through all the way to this back section. What to expect here, I wouldn't really guess as much, except the fact that it's a simple tower with a symbol of the 5 elements at the top, or the Gaian symbol, which is similar to the one that is at the front, as you can see in the concept art here. However, in this particular case, the building is not complete because, well, it has broken down and it's ruined, and I just filled it in with a couple of things. Now we have a tree, this particular tree that is that has grown in because it was growing behind the building, and you know, trees have to look for light, so it grew in this direction as it tried to stretch its branches and have its leaves access the light that's coming through here for most of the day. All around you have these pots. Here I use the composter and the flower pot to represent the pots, and then the normal flower pot of the huge mushrooms and smaller trees that are growing in, and this very broken up floor that is supposed to be the floor to the second tower that you see at the back. I assume there might have been stairs leading up, but I was not sure about that, so I decided to leave that out. And however, we were sure about what is down below here, and let's just check that out. So coming downstairs, you would notice that in the concept art it shows that at the back of the second tower is a staircase leading all the way down, and in its former days it was a bit more glorious than you see here, but right now it has been broken down, and I believe we'll have to do a little bit of parkour similar to how it was in the mage tower build that I did a couple of days back, a couple weeks back actually. Check the top left corner if you want to see that. And it's broken down, and what I went with basically was a really ruined staircase, mostly because it has been exposed to the elements, and even the pillars that were holding it up, like you see here, some have fallen down, just like you see this one right here. This pillar has fallen down, some vines have overgrown, but and that leads us all the way down to I would say the level that leads us to the tunnel that goes to the portal. But before we go in that direction, I noticed one thing that what I expect is there's going to be, of course, a lot of water, or at least this place will be overgrown, and this water that is down is because, you know, maybe water leaks through the broken roof. But I do expect to find some hidden chests in some of these structures, simply because I don't think it makes sense for them not to be there, for there not to be a hidden chest, at least in a structure as important as the Gaian portal. Yeah. But then the other thing I noticed from the concept art that we see is the corridor leading up to the portal was literally pristine and almost untouched. It did not seem broken up as much, and I assume that's because maybe the essence of Gaia keeps it alive, or at least this was a bit more protected than before. Coming in here, this is the corridor that leads you to the portal, which you already do see the portal all the way there, or the portal room. But let's just admire this for a little while. Well made and pristine. I used walls to recess this cobblestone, and I think these are stone brick walls, to recess the these walls, and it actually does give a very cool look. It almost seems like I'm using vertical slabs in here. And of course there are lights on either side. Forgive the warmth of the shaders I'm using right now, but I like them. And then that leads us to the portal room. And as you can see from the concept art, the portal room generally is a big hollow box with the portal almost right in the middle. Like you see here, the portal looks untouched, and because we do not have any blue portal blocks, I didn't want to use the purple nether portal blocks, but the sea lanterns did the job quite well, because I see the portal in the concept art is bluish, and sea lanterns do give a lot of light. And I expect it to be like bright like this because, well, it's leading you to Namdraza, which is quote unquote the heaven of Hytale, for so to speak. But the other thing you notice about the portal is it has slots for each of the elements, and I did try my best to organize them according to how it appears in the concept art. My belief is to get into the portal, or for it to completely open, you would have to collect all these what do they call them, all these crystals and place them into the portal before you can actually make your way into onto Namdraza, where Gaia's temple is most definitely going to be. That also begs the question, like I'd said earlier, I assumed that going to the Gaia's temple would be a very early thing, but considering the fact that you have to get all of these blocks or these crystals, to get to into the portal, I think you will need to have to go to all the 5 zones. I feel like I'm missing something. If I did, let me know down in the comments section. But then this is what we have for the portal. That, according to the concept art, there seemed to be some kind of entrance at the back of this portal, but I wasn't too keen on that because it did not seem as detailed or as important to this structure as we might assume. However, I think that particular door may lead to maybe a secret room that has some really good loot. The mobs. Speaking of mobs, I expect us to find 3 major mobs defending that are going to be the challenge we might have to face while traversing the Gaian portal. The first one is definitely going to be the skeleton. Probably a couple of them will be around here waiting to fight you, some with the arrows, some with the swords, because I do not necessarily think a structure as important as this is not going to be protected by any fellas at all. So you should expect to find the skeletons, and probably those that are using earth weapons and tools, but all types, the ones that use the bows and the ones that use the spears. Then a step up to that, we would find maybe now this is just a suggestion, I think maybe in this back room here we would find or maybe with the skeletons or maybe some tougher skeletons. So if in front we have the simple basic maybe skeletons that use swords or bows and arrows, maybe here we'll have those that are a bit more decked out in more armor and a bit more challenging to defeat. And then lastly, at the bottom right here, I think just before we get into the portal, or protecting the entrance of the portal itself, will be a skeleton mage. Now this is not for sure, but because due to the importance of this structure, I do not think it's going to be that easy to just get into it and traverse and not find any troubles getting into it. Maybe not, you never know. Maybe there will not be any resistance at all, and it's just a structure we can get free loot from. That would be cool though, if we have a bit of a challenge and we know that coming in here we'll need to face a couple guys. So obviously I did not have any custom mobs, if that's what we were expecting. These evokers are the closest thing we have in Minecraft for mages, and maybe advanced skeleton warriors are these with the skeletons that we have right here. And then of course you have your basic skeletons, who are probably going to be everywhere actually, in most of the ruined places the undead humans that were defeated and risen by Varan's powers. And as the Prince of Orbis, I give this theory a seal. But let's just do a final roundup of the structure and everything else that is on the outside of the structure that we have not looked at. Coming up here to get a general overview of the place, we can see at a glance that we have the central or the entrance, the small corridor like we see in the concept art, and then that back tower which is supposed to have each of those pointy things that are coming out of it to represent the Gaian symbol, because it is a Gaian structure. But for those with keen eyes, you notice that around the portal is let me say small garden, probably a worship garden, and around this what I did is put a couple of statues, because if you look into the concept art, there are a couple of statues that are there. Now this one in particular is a bit broken up because I don't expect all of them to be intact, but then this one seemed to be intact. At least from the concept art it looked intact. And I do not know if it's me, but if you looked at this structure long enough, it would look like a lady, right? Right? Or is it only me? Okay. According to me, it looks like a lady. This being a head right here, and the hands, and then this is like the dress, the feet, and this is like her hair. We know Gaia has very long hair. I probably should have used like black stone on this, but oh yeah, they are all made of stone, so you can't have color variations. And we have the statues littered around, even on the other side that we're going to see shortly. The other thing I noticed from the concept art is that it seemed this structure was in the ancient times, before all of the ruining that happened. It seemed like the structure was surrounded by a wall made out of the same block type like the portal itself. So we have the small little garden here with the wall that is now broken down because of no use. Coming over here, it's the same story on this side with another statue that we have here, and trees that have overgrown. This tree is what I imagine just grew into the building because of it not being well looked after. And I guess that's pretty much it, and that is going to be a wrap for us. And trust me guys, this was one of my favorite builds so far because it turned out to be so beautiful, and I really did love it. But of course, before we go, we have to do the proverbial tradition and make sure we see this in the Hytale like shader pack. And just like that, I switched it up to Hytale's default-ish picturesque shader pack that you see over here. And this is Silda's enhanced default. If any of you want to download this, I'll leave a link in the description below, but this is what I use because it is the closest looking to Hytale that we can get. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. Tell me about the new format, whether you enjoyed it, and let me know what other suggestions you have for builds. I have a feeling I'm coming to an end to all the known prefabs we know in zone 1. At least the ones that I've built so far represent a lot of what we have done. And if you haven't checked out the other builds, there is a I'll leave the playlist link in the description, but here is an iCard at the corner. I think maybe the top right corner. Yes, the top right corner to you. You'll see an iCard for the video playlist for all the other builds that I have done. I have done a Quebec village, a mage tower, I've done a truck camp, and now the Gaian portal entrance. Alright, see you guys next time. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter. The link will be also down in the description, because that is where I usually put out polls like this one to decide who or what I'm going to be doing in the next video. Until then, next time, bye for now.